guys, my name is Laura and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be everything you need to know before you go to the University of Guelph. So really quick before we get into this video, I just wanted to say that I totally got this video idea from my best friend Andrea. She has a YouTube channel which I'm gonna have linked down below. Make sure you go over and subscribe. She did a video just like this for the University of Ottawa. So if you are going into first year, or even if you're already a student at the University of Guelph, I'm just kind of going to be breaking down different things that you need to know about starting university and specifically at Guelph. I'm about to graduate from Guelph in 2 or 3 weeks, and I studied Bachelor of Commerce, specifically with a major in real estate and housing. So I will be talking a little bit about the Lang School of Business and also just the university in general. So the first thing is residence. So I lived in South Residence, which is where most students live in their first year. It's the largest residence by far, and so people tend to call it the Dirty South, but if you get stuck there, it's really not that big of a deal. And if it's important to you to have a single room, I would actually recommend requesting that residence because there's so many singles in there. So I lived in a single in Maritime Harbor 3. If you want to get off on a good foot and really make friends in your residence, my biggest suggestion would be to request a cluster. So basically a cluster is a tower or floor of all people in your program. So for example, if I had have requested a cluster, I would have gotten placed in a room with all other business students, which when you are applying, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but it's so helpful to have people on your floor that are in the same program as you because you're studying for the same classes. If you're stuck on something the night before a midterm, you can just go knock on your neighbor's door and ask if they can help you out. I also wanted to mention, don't overpack. So I had a little bit of a unique first year because I actually transferred. So I didn't start at Guelph in residence until the second semester of first year. And in my first semester of first year, I went to Wilfrid Laurier University where I totally overpacked for residence. And I realized that semester what I actually needed in my room, which was very little. Really, you just need your clothes, your toiletries, and school supplies and a few other things. If you're gonna bring any kitchen items, just bring one bowl, one plate, and one set of cutlery, because you're not gonna be doing dishes that often and the majority of your meals will be at the dining hall. I also wanted to say that you should definitely choose your preferences wisely. So really just ask yourself, like, are you a morning person or a night person? Do you really love parties or do you prefer a quiet space? For whatever reason, I was so reluctant to requesting the quiet floor because I thought that everybody was going to be really shy. But in actuality, it's so important for me to go home to a quiet space. So I really wish that I had have requested a quieter floor. And also ask yourself, do I want a roommate? So some people, a roommate is such a great thing for them. It really puts them outside of their comfort zone. You meet someone right off the bat and kind of have an instant best friend. But for other people like myself, I really need my alone time. And so having a single room was really the best thing for me. And I just had to push myself a little bit more to get out there when I was feeling lonely. So I'm gonna insert a photo of what a South single looks like. They are really unique, so great. You get a really large closet to yourself and you get a balcony, which is kind of cool. And I just wanted to say that if I was going into first year, my recommendation for residence would be to request North. So the North residences are probably the nicest ones. They're mostly doubles, so if you're really looking for a single, you're unlikely to get one in North. But the North residences are just a lot newer, cleaner, and there's a little bit more privacy. So next, let's talk about orientation week. So since I transferred, I actually didn't do orientation week at Guelph as a first year, but in my third year, I was an orientation volunteer. So basically, as an orientation volunteer, I went to a lot of the events, interacted with first years, kind of showed them around if they were confused about where they were going, and it was a lot of fun. And a lot of people that I've talked to did the PEP-RALLY during orientation week, which is just basically a really big party where you learn a dance and it gets really like pepped up and there's so much school spirit. So definitely recommend going to that. And also go to your college lunch. So the college lunches are for your program, and that's where you're going to hear from people who are involved in your program in different student associations, and your dean might be there. And it's a great opportunity to meet other people, and you're also going to get a free lunch at college lunch, so take that free food during orientation week. Usually the college lunch is on Labor Day, so a day or two after you move into residence. So keep an eye out for the college lunch depending whatever college you're in, whether it's business, sciences, engineering, etc. Okay, so next let's talk about eating on campus. Guelph has one of the highest ranked student meal plans in Canada, and honestly, the food is amazing on campus. My personal favorite is Creelman Hall, which is a dining hall, and their pizza is unbelievable. There's a lot of healthy options on campus too. Specifically, if you go to the LA Pit, there's a salad bar and you can get any salads you want. There's also a wrap station, so you can build your own healthy wrap. There's a pasta station. Most of the dining halls also have a mom's kitchen, which usually has like a chicken, rice, and vegetable. I'm vegetarian, so I usually was able to get an option at every dining hall, and they would usually have something like vegetarian chili or falafel wraps or a chickpea stew, something like that. So there was always a really good and healthy vegetarian option, so just make sure that you're keeping an eye out for that. There's also a lot of dessert options. So if you're really trying to maintain a healthy diet in first year, try to stay away from having those dessert options every night. I know it's hard, but for me, I am a sucker for Nutella, and there was a crepe station in the Mountain Hall Caf, which is usually where I ate. And so every night I would be eating my dinner and just staring at the crepe station, like wanting a Nutella banana crepe so badly. And I definitely had too many of them. Really stick to your guns and try to eat healthy. It's definitely possible. And then another great thing about Guelph's meal plans is your meal card can actually be used at off-campus restaurants. So on the weekends, for example, maybe you're a little sick of dining hall food, you can go to Montana's or Eastside Mario's or Milestones and get a meal at those restaurants. It also works for Red Top Taxi. So if you're going to a party or you're going to the bar, or if you just want to go to the mall, you can call a Red Top Taxi and put it on your meal plan. And I think that's so great because it's encouraging students to have a safe ride home. And then my favorite is that you can also use your meal plan at different burrito places and fast food, and you can even get delivery on your meal card. Okay, my next tip that I want to talk about is getting involved. So when I went into university, seriously, everyone I knew told me to get involved. And what did I do? I didn't get involved. I was really involved in high school. I was on like every club. And then when I got to university, I was just so scared to put myself out there. And I also had a difficult time figuring out what are my passions, what am I interested in, and it just seemed like every club was very specific. So I kind of just want to break that barrier for you. Maybe you don't have a specific religion or video game that you're interested in, but you kind of just want to meet people like you. My biggest recommendation is to look at the student associations for your college. So for me, that was the Lang Students Association, and I applied and got a role as an events manager. And in that role, I planned events for business students, and I just met so many business students that were in my classes, and those were truly lasting relationships because once you get onto your upper year classes, you're mostly surrounded by people in your program. So the earlier you can meet those people, the better. And there's different clubs too. If maybe you don't want to get involved with something specifically to your major, but there might be something similar. So we have Guelph Entrepreneurship Society if you're interested in entrepreneurship. Or we have Guelph Women in Leadership, which is just a really great empowering group of women who put on events. Another way that you can get involved is through orientation week. So as I was saying, you can be an orientation volunteer. That's a great way to meet people that are upper years who are also volunteering, and also to meet people in first year so you can be a little bit of a mentor for them. There's also a whole bunch of part-time job opportunities on campus. So I was a Start on Track facilitator in my third year, which basically was like a mentor program for first years. So I mentored first year students. We would meet weekly and just have conversations about their transition to university, any challenges they were facing, and we would kind of find ways to make their university experience as positive as possible. So that's an option. You can work in the student experience department. There's also a whole bunch of athletics jobs. So maybe you're a lifeguard swim instructor. You can work at the campus pool. You can work at the front desk at the athletic center. You can be a referee for intramural sports. Work at any of the dining locations on campus. If you want to work at the bull ring as a cashier, you can do that. You can work at any of the coffee shops on campus. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now, but there seriously are so many part-time job opportunities. There's also research positions with specific professors, so if you are interested in doing research, that's an opportunity. And then I also just wanted to mention clubs. So these are more specific to different groups and niches of students. So for example, there are clubs for students of different ethnicities. There are clubs for students with different religions. There are clubs for students who are interested in video gaming. There's clubs for students who are interested in outdoors and going camping and that sort of thing. So just look into those and see if any of them resonate with you and if you would be interested in them, and then just send them an email to see if they have any openings or if you can become a member. And then there's also intramural clubs, which are sports basically. They range from just for fun to competitive, so you can get yourself a team or you can just register by yourself and play a wide variety of sports. So you can play bubble soccer or volleyball or baseball. There's so many different sports that you can choose from. So try something new. There's also inner tube water polo, which I totally wish that I tried. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different sports and you don't have to be good at the sport or have even played it in the past in order to register for those. Okay, next I want to mention some of my favorite study spots on campus. So my ultimate #1 study spot is McDonald Hall. Especially if you are a business student, you need to study at McDonald Hall. You will just meet a lot more people in your program by hanging out there, and there's so many great locations to study. So if you're studying in a group, if you have a group project, you can book out the group study rooms. They always have a big window and they're really spacious. They also have a whiteboard and a monitor so you can practice presentations. Also, the main lobby of McDonald Hall is a great place to study if you're kind of doing not as busy work and you're willing to chat with people as they walk through. Like a lot of times if I'm in the lobby, my friends will be walking through and I'll stop and talk to them and then I'll see somebody else, that sort of thing. And then I also love the 3rd floor of McDonald Hall because they have big couches with big tables so you can really spread out while you're studying, and it's really quiet up there, so that's another great spot. Aside from McDonald Hall, I love the Science Atrium. It is a really large open space. I'm not a science student, so I don't understand how they do this, but they emit white noise into the atrium, so it always sounds really quiet even if people are talking. So you can be sitting at one table and you won't be able to hear the conversation at the table over because of that white noise that kind of blocks it all out. So it's really great for focused studying and you won't get distracted by other people's conversations. If you're looking for a really quiet place to study, the 2nd floor of the library is really great. They have a lot of individual cubicles and it's been recently renovated, so the desks are really nice. There's bathrooms and water fountains, and there's a Starbucks on the main floor, so it's really got everything you need. Lastly, if you just have like a weird amount of time in between classes, the University Center is a great place to study. There's a lot of little nooks when you go upstairs. So the University Courtyard is a really wide open area, but if you head up to the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th floor, there's lots of little nooks where they have study spots. So if you just have 20 minutes in between class, the University Center is really central to most of those lecture halls. So it's a great place to pop in, grab some food, and do a little bit of studying. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite spots off campus. The Guelph community is seriously the best. There's so many great small businesses in Guelph. The first thing that I want to mention is downtown Guelph. So this is a more historic part of the city. It is like a network of really beautiful streets with little shops, and Guelph is huge on supporting local businesses. So I really love the Red Brick Cafe. It's a really cute little coffee shop that you can go into to study, and they also have really great food. So if you're gonna be there for a few hours, that's an awesome option. I also, if you're looking for like beauty treatments or just to get a little bit of pampering, maybe after an exam, I love the Holistic Beauty Bar. They do really great facials and everything is super natural. She uses the best organic products and you will leave feeling so rejuvenated. My favorite bar in Guelph is Western. I am a huge country person, and if you're in business, this tends to be the spot where all of the business kids hang out on a Saturday night. They don't just play country music, they do a wide range, and it just has such a great atmosphere. There's booths, so if you kind of just want to talk with your friends, you can also order food, and then there's a dance floor, so you always have that option. If you're looking for a little bit more of a chill night, Woodlawn Bowl is a really great spot to check out with friends. They have different themed nights, and there is a bar in there if you want to get a few drinks or some food. So if you're looking for bowling, definitely head to the north side of Guelph and go to Woodlawn Bowl. And then my all-time favorite restaurant is the Bread Bar. They have the best pizza, pasta, and just a whole wide range of items on their menu. Everything is really well sourced too, which is something that's important to people here in Guelph. Everybody loves to eat organic and healthy, so they have really great options for that, and they're always changing up their menu depending on what's seasonal. So check out the Bread Bar. It's such a great spot for birthday dinners or Sunday brunch. Okay, we're almost at the end. The last thing that I want to talk about is the business school. So recently we received a $21 million donation from Stu Lang for our business school. So we've been renamed the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics as of last spring. So it's really exciting, and we're finally putting Guelph business on the map. As somebody who is in the real estate program, I've seen so much of value to the small class sizes that we have. There's only about 50 people in my graduating class in real estate specifically, so we've gotten to know each other really well. The other thing that I think Guelph Business does really well is forcing you to work in teams. When you get out into the real world, it's inevitable that you're going to have to work in teams, and you need to learn those skills early on. So right off the bat in first year, they have you doing a case competition with a team, which most people really struggle with in first year because it's really the first time you've done that type of work in a group. But by the time you get to fourth year, those group projects are seriously like seamless. Everybody has like really honed in on their teamwork skills and has learned how to collaborate effectively. So that's one of my favorite things about the Guelph Business Program. Also, the business program is just such a warm community here at Guelph. I have met so many amazing students in the business school, and I love it so much. I don't want to leave. They also have a really great co-op program, so if you want to do 5 years for your degree, you'll get some work experience in there as well. So yeah, I think that wraps up everything that I wanted to talk about today. I hope that this helped. If you're starting at the University of Guelph soon, please leave a comment below if you have any questions. I would love to hear them and love to answer them. And definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everyone!